Siftpop podcast is recorded in front of a live internet audience. Live from a bunker in the heart of the Ozarks. We're sitting in our chairs in a circle, and you never know which one of us will come to the light. It's Siftpop.
Honestly, I think that, just sitting in the dark, just chilling, letting everybody else do their thing. I'd be the doldrum, the little lethargic one.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome to Siftpop, streaming live on Mixlr every Friday or available to download later in your podcast feed, unless, of course, you're a patron.
Patrons get perks!
Huh! I'm Aaron Dicer from YourMovieFriend.com, joined by Andrew Ormsby, who's from Flick Freaks.
Ahoy!
Every week we'll be joined by a pop culture guru to chat about movies, television, and whatever else from the pop culture universe is on our minds. Today's guru, from Deezus Take the Reel, it's Deezus!
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Devon Taylor here, a.k.a. Deezus. How are y'all doing?
The real MVP.
Deezus Take the Reel is your new podcast?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, it's my new podcast. It is, it's a good time. Andrew's been on it, and we talked, like, authoritative government-type movies.
V for
science,
Vendetta.
Yeah,
I'm
and the
trying.
Matrix.
I'm trying not to take it personally, but every time a guru comes in that has a podcast, they're like, "Yeah, we had Andrew on," and everything. I have never been on anybody else's podcast.
Well, see,
You need to leave the bunker, Aaron.
if you go back to the last time I was on the show, I hadn't started it yet, and I teased the podcast.
Truth.
So now that I'm back and it's officially going, now I can officially invite you.
Very cool, and that's
we'll
actually
See
definitely
what
get you on
happens.
soon.
I'm a guinea pig in case it fails. Then they bring in the VIPs later on.
I guess that's not true. I guess one of our gurus does the Horrible Movie Podcast, and I have been on the Horrible Movie
have
Podcast, which you have not. So I got at least one in the positive column there. So
Yeah.
Yes, no, I'm gonna get you on soon. Yeah, we just we talk movies, but we have weird conversations, talk hypotheticals, we play games, all sorts of stuff. It's a good time.
very cool. Well, how you guys been? How's life?
Living the dream one day at a time.
Yeah, things going all right?
Yeah, everything's been great.
All
I've
right.
been just real busy. Like the podcast,
Man.
really took off, and I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. I'm really excited about this episode.
Oh, yeah.
We went and saw a movie
yes.
together that we're excited to talk about called Split. So we're going to do that, and it's from M. Night Shyamalan. So we're going to do an official Sift Sort. We've named this segment Sift Sort, and that's where we take a category of film that has a limited number of movies in it and actually do an official Siftpop ranking. We did this with the Star Wars movies. That was the first Sift Sort. So we're going to do it with M. Night Shyamalan movies, and of course we'll have Buried Treasure at the end. But first, we'll start with some Do We Care? Andrew, take it away.
Every single week, we have 3 items in a Do We Care segment to let you guys know if we care about what's going on in the entertainment world. First up, big one. The upcoming film A Dog's Purpose has come under extreme fire after a video was leaked by TMZ showing mistreatment of one of the dogs on the set. Do we care?
Yes, absolutely. Did you guys watch the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, see, I haven't seen the video. I didn't know that I wanted to. How bad is it?
It's bad. It's not like they're beating up the dog, but
Can I tell you my understanding of it?
yeah.
My understanding is that they're filming some sort of water scene
Yeah.
with like rapids and those kind of things, and that their dog doesn't want to go in the water.
Yeah.
But they force the dog into the water and under the water, even though the dog is complaining.
Well, they throw the dog in the
They
water.
throw the dog in, the dog goes under.
And the dog goes under, and then they have to jump in to save it.
Okay.
So I think just really what it shows is just the insensitivity, I guess. Like, you got to know when you're doing a movie with animals, like, if they're not cooperating that day, like, hey, you might just have to shoot something else.
Well, and that's what they said. That's how
so I
it's
think it's
supposed
just
to go.
insensitive.
So
is what it is.
There's American Humane Society. They always have somebody on set to make sure that the animals are being treated fairly and
Right.
kindly. The person on the set was fired because of this.
Because they didn't make sure
I
that
saw
things
suspended.
Oh,
last-
suspended. Yeah.
I saw suspended, but
Yeah,
still, I mean,
Yeah.
Was this a movie you were interested in to begin with?
Yeah. No, I am actually boycotting this movie. I'm not going to go see it now.
Would you have seen it though otherwise, do you think?
Maybe it would have been difficult for me because, losing my dog so recently, it would have been hard for me to watch because the movie's about dogs passing away and how people deal with it. So it would have been tough, but I probably still would have gone to see it, but now I'm just not going to do it.
Deezus, what are your thoughts? Were you thinking about seeing the movie anyway? How does it affect it?
It was a movie that kind of surprised me with the trailer, and I was thinking about seeing it. But now, I mean, I'm sure it will stumble onto my TV at some point, but I'm not gonna go to the theaters and support the studio or anything like that.
I mean, my situation's a little different in that, I'm supposed to see it, because I'm supposed to review it. And I don't know that I would necessarily, quote unquote, boycott it anyway. But I don't know that it's going to come out. I'm going to be honest with you right now. This is hitting them hard. Yeah. Like they canceled the screen, like the premiere.
Yeah, they canceled the premiere. So it might not. They might pull it and take the loss.
So, okay, just so you guys know how the fans are dealing with this, Dog's Purpose on IMDb, oh, wow, they changed it. Or initially, you could rank the film. They took the rating off for this film.
Yeah, it had so many 1 stars.
It had so many ones that it was in the bottom 100 movies of all time, and it hadn't even come out yet.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, they took off the rating for Dog's Purpose.
Wow. It's so interesting to me because, you see that thing at the end of every movie that says, no animals were, harmed in the making of this film. And let's be fair, the dog was not harmed in a physical, like, repercussions, consequences, long-term ways. Now, there is harm to an animal who is forced to do something that, they don't want to do. So there's that as well. Yeah. But here's what I find really interesting, though. Whoever had this video saved it and released it at the perfect place to release it to do maximum damage to this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's 2 weeks before it comes out.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks, I guess, because it comes out on the 27th, so
does
a week.
Say that maybe this person knows something, or we might not know?
I don't know. And maybe other stuff was going. I mean, why were they filming? Did they know things were happening? Like,
yeah,
it's just kind of, there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Well,
still.
It looks like they start filming where the dog is definitely reluctant and not wanting to get into the water, and that's when they start filming. But here's something else we got to think about. Josh Gad, the actor who voices the dogs in this movie.
Yeah, he put out a statement.
But I feel bad for the guy because he's getting tied to a movie where he was just in a booth.
Yeah,
recording
he had nothing to do with the production.
And now people are saying, "Why would you be involved with?
Why would you be involved in this movie?" Same thing with like Dennis Quaid and stuff, because this was one of those. The director of the film wasn't even on set that day. It's one of those like crew pickup shots, sort of thing that they did. So he's like, "God, I didn't even know this happened," and poor, like, the actors and the director, I actually do feel bad for them. It's the crew that was there that day that you got to be upset with.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lack of professionalism and sensitivity.
I think
from
this is supposed to be a directorial debut for this guy too. So,
that's rough, man.
Yeah,
that's rough. And you really feel for Josh and so many others who had nothing to do with this. I mean, movies are made by so many people. And they just wouldn't have been able to do anything about this. Like, they didn't even know about this. So, yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't a directorial debut. I think it was the...
Well, either way, you've got to feel bad for the director, unless he was on set that day, which I don't think he was.
Yeah.
For that scene. Anyhow. Good sense of humor in the chat.
That's what I was about to say.
Can't count the number of times they shoved Brad Pitt into a lake and had to rescue him from drowning. Let's move on. What's next?
Number 2 for Do We Care? Tim Burton and Will Smith are attached to the Disney's 4th upcoming live-action remake of the 1941 classic film Dumbo.
I saw this.
Wow. I am super excited for Disney's first horrible live-action movie.
I've been intrigued by this for a while. I think
it won't be Beauty and the Beast.
I just got a feeling because there's so many Disney apologists out there, they'll be like, "No, it's great," but there's no saving grace from a Tim Burton movie. So,
well, see, I think I'm on the other hand here. I care big time.
Good, fight it out. Fight.
I remember I even said it on the last time I was here. Like, I'm a Burton apologist. I'll admit it. Like, I do love Tim Burton, but I've been pretty hit or miss with the live action Disney films. I think Jungle Book was. I mean, it was fine.
I love Jungle Book.
Thank you. I'm actually with him.
I admire it. I do admire it. The effects in it are fantastic, but it's a pretty meh movie. And then Cinderella's fine, and then Beauty and the Beast. I mean, I love the cast, but the trailers don't really have me sold or anything. So I don't know. I'm hit or miss. So a Tim Burton Dumbo movie. This was supposed to be the very first live action Disney film.
Oh, interesting.
So it's been around for a while, but then now Will Smith is gonna be in it. What?
Yeah. Listen, I'm in. I refuse to prejudge movies. Like if I can never look at a concept and go, oh, you can't make a good movie out of that. There have been too many times that has been proven wrong in my mind. So I just let them make the movie, then I watch it, and then I decide. And I have to tell you, completely disagree about Cinderella in Jungle Book. I think Cinderella is a fabulous movie. Really well done. Some really cool themes in that movie. And Jungle Book is really good, too.
Not the best.
But what else are those the only 2 live actions
so far? And then
that
we'll have.
I know Lion King. They're doing Lion King.
Yeah, they are doing Lion
Maleficent.
King.
Maleficent. That's a little because it wasn't really a Maleficent movie.
Well, it's not a
movie.
Sleeping Beauty movie.
It's not a Sleeping Beauty movie,
right? Yeah.
But I mean, it's still in the live action. Disney.
Maleficent was kind of hit or miss for me.
Did Disney make? I guess they had to have because they have the rights.
What, the Snow White and the
for
Huntsman?
Maleficent? Did Disney make that one?
Oh yeah, well I mean they made Snow White.
It just didn't feel like it was a Disney movie, so that's what I was asking.
I don't know. Will Smith in a Tim Burton movie is something I didn't know that I wanted, but now that I've heard it now, I need it. Will Smith is, I want to see him do something fun again because he does so many of the Oscar baity movies.
Yeah,
and, just let him do something fun again, just as long as it's not Suicide Squad.
If nothing else, it has my curiosity piqued. Like, what is this movie? Like, what is this movie going to be?
That scene in Dumbo with the hallucinations.
Yeah, right? The pink elephants on parade,
that's terrifying. So, I mean, imagine when Burton's... You're going to get a good scene of that alone.
Interesting. What else you got?
Number 3. This is a long one here, so bear with me.
All right.
Ubisoft is up to bat again at trying to make a good video game movie. This time with their critical flop game, The Division. The film has cast Jake Gyllenhaal a while ago. I think we actually talked about that once. But they have found a director in Stephen Gaghan from Traffic, Syriana, and McConaughey's newest movie, Gold.
Well, that doesn't... I don't know that I care about this. Do you guys care?
I've never even heard of the game.
Okay, do you want a synopsis of the game?
Sure.
So basically...
Andrew, do you care?
Not really.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people would because it's Ubisoft, and the game sold a lot. It just wasn't a good game, it turned out. Because it looks super cool. The game was in development for like 6 years. It was shown at E3 about 6 years ago, and it just came out last year. It's after this plague pretty much wipes out New York. It's like this barren wasteland where this elite force of... it's based Tom Clancy. So this elite force of soldiers comes in to try and bring order back to the city. And they pretty much mapped out...
You're not getting me, man. I'm not interested.
I'm not...
The game mapped
really
out all of New York. So you could travel all around, like, Manhattan and stuff.
What, by, like, sewers and stuff?
No, well, you could...
Like actual New York? It did, like, an actual map of New York? And
yeah.
So is that why people found it interesting?
Yeah.
That doesn't even translate to a movie. Like, how is that even translate to a good movie?
That sounds like some... national treasure.
Not that we would be surprised if there was a bad video game movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah. Well, Ubisoft just made the Assassin's Creed movie, and we know how that turned out. So
yes, we do.
I think if Ubisoft is smart, though, that there's a lot of things to learn about the Assassin's Creed movie, because it's a terrible movie, but I think I figured out the problem on why video game movies don't work. And if they can learn from that, I mean, it could be good, but... who knows?
There have been a few good video games.
I am on record. I know what the first good video game movie will be, other than the ones Andrew says are good.
Yeah.
Tetris. That movie is going to be amazing.
Why?
Which one? The first one or the fifth one?
Yeah, the first. All 5 of them. That's going to be one of the most incredible expanded universes ever.
That's going to wrap it up for Do We Care?
All right, you guys ready to talk about Split?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body. Who are you?
Split comes from M. Night Shyamalan. He's back with his 10th film as a director. And his most recent, The Visit, got a little bit of acclaim. So people are saying maybe there's a Shyamalan-assance that's happening.
Shyamalan-assance.
Yes.
And so... we're looking
I don't even know how that'd be spelled.
Man, that just rolls right off the tongue.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Shyamalan-assance.
There you go. Now you got it.
Shyamalan-assance.
It stars James McAvoy as somebody dealing with DID, dissociative identity disorder, which many people call multiple personalities or split personalities. And his goal of trying to keep the darkness inside of him that some of those personalities have. Now, I will say right off the top, we're going to be completely spoiler-free here in the main podcast. and that is going to be difficult. Like, it is really hard to talk about this movie.
Any Shyamalan movie without spoiling.
Yeah, because there's
this
always
one particular.
This one in particular is difficult to talk about that in that way, but we're gonna do it. And then if you would come to the spoiler cast special afterward in your podcast feed, if you've seen the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, this is when I would say, please don't listen to the spoiler cast. Please see the movie before you listen to the spoiler cast, because I want you to be able to have the same experience we did in the movie theater with this movie. So, is that fair to say?
Yes, for sure.
I think in spoiler cast, we actually do need to talk about like the movie going experience too.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Let's just start here. What do you think overall, Andrew?
Okay.
Just okay. Yeah, just right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I loved it.
Loved it?
I loved this movie.
I have landed on loved it. I was on liked it, and then this morning I just kept thinking about it, and I loved it.
You know what? I'll say this. I think a second viewing of this movie, I would like it a lot more.
Yeah.
I do think that.
I think you're going to like it a lot more, like, after we do the spoiler cast and talk about, some of the details and stuff.
No, I'm not saying that there aren't parts about this movie that I love. Because there are parts about this movie I absolutely love.
Well, why don't we start there? What did you love?
Okay, so this is incredibly difficult role for anybody to do. But I think that James McAvoy does a phenomenal job and gives a really good performance for an incredibly difficult character to pull off.
Oscar worthy?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I put him, so far this year at least, I'd put him in the running.
Hey, yeah. Oh, I shall say this? Movie of the year.
That's right.
So far,
That's right.
movie of the year.
I think it's a brilliant performance.
Yeah.
What he does in this is mind-blowing.
Maybe his best performance. Easily his best performance.
I think it is. I think this is his best performance. I mean, this movie completely hinges on him pulling off this performance. If he doesn't pull it off, then this movie falls apart.
Yeah.
And the facial mannerisms that he made each personality just so distinct.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
like,
their faces all rested differently.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, it was really interesting.
There were parts he looked like a different person.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a phenomenal performance, and I think that's definitely something to bring out right at the top. Maybe the best thing about the movie is his performance.
Yeah.
I'd say hands down, yeah, that's definitely easily the best part of this film. Even if you're not an M. Night fan, like, you can appreciate what James McAvoy is doing in this movie.
Yeah.
Deezus, what you got?
What do you like?
What do I like? I mean, yeah, James McAvoy, of course. The other lead, Anya Taylor-Joy, I've been a fan of hers. She was in The Witch last year, and then she was also in Morgan.
The Vavitch.
The
Vavitch.
Yes.
Morgan, not a great movie, but she does a fantastic performance, and she's the best part of it. She's fantastic.
I would say
Witch.
Paul Giamatti's the best part of that movie.
And
He's
that's a very good but she's a rising star, and she's not just like a scream queen though either. Like, she's kind of bringing this new breed of scream queen to horror, because horror's kind of been changing a lot lately.
The screamless queen.
Like,
well, and some of that's M. Night too. It's one of the things I loved about the movie. It felt like classic M. Night to me. The way he directed the actors. He has this real particular style for his actors. It almost feels like everybody's on Valium or something. Like, it's very laid back and stilted, and there's lots of pauses, and there's lots of silence and chance for the camera to really feel like emotions and stuff. I thought it specifically with the actress who played the counselor.
Betty. What's
Becky.
It's
Becky
Becky
something.
Okay.
So her performance, at times I was like, I can't tell.
Betty Buckley.
Betty Buckley.
Yeah, Betty Buckley. I at times I was like, is this a bad performance? And I don't think it was. I think it was just an intentional performance. The way M. Night likes his actors, you see a lot of it, in some of his older movies as well. With even Mel Gibson, who's usually, somebody who's high energy, can be high energy, those kind of things.
Yeah.
His performance in Signs is very laid back.
I think it was very intentional, and then I can get more into it in the spoiler cast. Why her performance is so particular to this film. So I'll save that.
Totally
for the
agree.
spoiler cast,
Now, I am just a spoiler. I am going to talk about performances and the cons as well. So.
Okay.
But Aaron, what did you find in this movie that you loved?
Oh, so much. The other part of classic M. Night being back was the shot selection. There were some gorgeous shots in this movie. Some Hitchcock nods, which he's always done. There's a stairway shot that is so reminiscent of Vertigo.
It was the cinematographer of It Follows, which is one of my favorite horror films. So whenever I heard that he was the cinematographer, I knew this was going to look super pretty, and it did. Like, cinematography, fantastic.
The thing with Shyamalan is he does know how to build tension, and
That was the other thing I wanted to say, yeah.
He's done it better, obviously, in other movies, but I still think he does a really good job in this
I will
one.
tell you, the first scene in this movie is crazy suspenseful.
Good cold open.
Yeah, really good cold open from, let's just say the moment at the trunk for those next, 5-10 minutes is powerful stuff. I cannot wait to rewatch that scene and how he uses the camera to build that. And also I love how he uses the camera and his actors to also give you red herrings for possible twists. So there's a lot of that in this movie where you wonder, oh, maybe why is this way? Is that going to be, you know what I mean? So your brain starts thinking of things.
You can tell a lot of it is M. Night's writing. And then my other favorite, another big part of the movie was the score of this film. It was very subtle and it would kind of creep into scenes. And you didn't really know that the score was happening. The Visit, his last film, didn't have one. So it was a very good contrast that this film was very stylized. I like stylized horror. So
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the themes. When it comes to M. Night, he's just so smart. And the themes about, flesh versus spirit in this were beautiful.
The power of belief.
Yeah, the power of belief. The theme of, being broken was all throughout this, and kind of the empathy for the broken. And, which is a beautiful play on Split. His personalities are literally broken apart, as well as his life has been broken apart. There's just some really beautiful metaphor and themes that I always love with M. Night stuff. Or I used to always love, until a couple movies happened and I was like, M. Night, where did you go?
Yeah.
And now I love them again.
I think he's back.
It does feel like that, right?
He's coming back, yeah.
It definitely does feel like that.
One last thing, this isn't a spoiler, but my last pro, I got Shyamalan.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the Shyamalaning of us all in the spoiler cast for sure.
Yeah. That's all I have for pros.
Let's go to the negatives then.
Okay, so I have to say this. Performances in this movie besides McAvoy, Anya Taylor, and Betty, everybody else is either forgettable or horrible performances in this movie.
I think it's intentional, but I know what you're saying.
I have a comment on it in spoiler cast on why I can prove that wrong.
Because
I think
everybody knows that she's not the only one kidnapped. The other two girls, so bad. It was actually cringeworthy for me. Like
I did not feel that.
I thought one of them was the girl that was in Edge of 17. I forget what her name was.
The blonde one?
Yeah, the blonde one. She was a little bit over the top. The other one, I didn't mind so much.
Yeah.
But I have a reason. I think it's very intentional on M. Night's writing.
I didn't notice either of them being cringeworthy.
Really?
There were a couple side performances that I was
hammocks.
like, wow, that is not great acting. But again, when we get to spoilers, I really think that was intentional. I really do. Anything else that you had for negatives?
I got a bunch of stuff in the cons. I'll let you guys go first.
I don't really have any.
What? What?
I do.
Come on.
I've been thinking about it. That's part of the reason the movie's growing on me so much, is because when I try to think of what I didn't like, it's hard for me to really land on something other than you mentioned some of those acting performances, but I kind of give some grace on those.
My biggest con of the film is, and it's not really a big con, because the movie is not a horror per se. It is a psychological thriller. However, I think I wanted a few more scares in there, because even The Visit is still more of a thriller as well, but it has some really good scares.
The Visit is definitely more of a scare horror type movie. So this is full on suspense thriller.
This is all suspense, all psychological thriller, but I could have done with a little bit more, a few more horror elements in it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be my biggest con. That's the only thing that has it rated a little bit lower.
Well, help us out, Andrew. What are some of the other things we should have noticed?
Okay, so you loved the beginning of this movie.
I really did.
I thought it was a little bit rushed.
Rushed?
I thought it was rushed.
Huh. Okay.
Not like you said the trunk scene. That scene was great, but like right after that, I thought everything was kind of sloppily edited and kind of rushed, just, cram a whole bunch of information into the beginning. I thought that it could have been spread out a little bit more.
Okay.
Everything else I had, okay. Honestly, and this is going to sound weird, but I think the film ends up using women as sexual objects unnecessarily.
Okay.
I thought that it was pointless, and I'll get into that in spoilers.
I have a refute against that. That's not really spoilers, because I think that was just it was used to show more distinction among the personalities. Because with Dennis's that personality, Dennis, like he was meant to be a undesirable personality, but he was one of the stronger ones. But he had flaws, and that's one of his flaws was that he liked to see the girls naked and stuff like that.
And I thought that honestly, I thought they were just
and just to be clear, it is PG-13 and the girls are never naked, but they're in some states of undress that I can see how you would say it could be felt to be a little exploitative.
Yeah, and I thought there was no gain for it other than to just make them feel uncomfortable, but it didn't really make the audience feel uncomfortable. It
made me feel uncomfortable.
Really? I was like, you're just doing that to show stuff. That's all I got out of it. I'm like, really?
I think it was a little more than that, but I actually can see that point. I can see how you would feel that way, for sure.
Yeah. That'll wrap it up, actually, for my cons. So
okay. Do we want to do one more thing?
I have, one more thing. I think that pretty soon, hopefully, I think that Shyamalan is on his way to no longer being a Hollywood punchline.
Be great. I would love to see the Shyamalan of old. And I think we need to quit.
Shyamalan-essence.
I think we need to quit expecting directors to hit home runs every time. There's always going to be a misfire here and there. I mean, Affleck kind of had a misfire with, Live by Night. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to happen. So
I think the difference is Live by Night is a decent movie.
Right.
Shyamalan's movies
they were
got
horrible.
Atrociously bad. I know. That's the difference.
And I think it's a cautionary tale on power, too, from what I've heard, that he had so much creative control that nobody was reining him in.
I think it was the creative control, and it was just kind of a lot at once. And I think it's just kind of a testament to that career choice of being a director. Like, I mean, he has such a range of films. He has really amazing films. He has the stink bombs. He has ones that are in the middle, I think. Like, he's literally ridden this ride, and I like that now that studios have faith in him again. Both films were Blumhouse, so Jason Blum is I think he has a really good relationship with M. Night.
Is it Blumhouse? I always thought it was Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. It's Jason Blum.
Okay,
is his name, so it's Blumhouse. Because The Visit also. Andrew, I think you really need to check out The Visit. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, it's not that I didn't want to. It's just, seeing 115 movies last year. It came out last year, right?
No, Visit was 2 years ago.
Okay. Still. Didn't have time. Ain't nobody got time.
Can't squeeze them all in.
Yeah.
Deezus, did you have one more thing?
No, that was my one more thing. Just the story of M. Night, like the rise, the fall, the fall again, and
the Icarus effect, flying too close to the sun, getting burned.
My one last thing is just kind of a comparison. I remember having a lot of these exact same feelings with this movie as I did with 10 Cloverfield Lane last year, which feels like a very similar movie to me in a lot of ways.
So they both feel very claustrophobic.
I can see that.
And there's other things that are a little more spoilery that kind of tie them together for me as well. But
this is gonna be one great spoiler episode,
right?
It's gonna be so good.
So handcuffed. Let me just say before we go to the spoiler cast, if you are an M. Night fan, I cannot encourage you enough to see this movie as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Go see it as quickly as possible because the ruiners are going to start ruining it. And if you're going to have the same experience that we had, you need to be unruined.
Us and 3 other people in the theater.
That was the other thing. Yeah, it was kind of half and half had kind of just that moment.
Some people were like, what? And
I'm just telling you, here's the thing. I had trouble going to sleep last night. That's how much this movie impacted me.
It is a good
not for the reason you would think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were so hyped.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much to our patrons who support the podcast network that Siftpop is a part of, Studio DNA Podcast Network. You can go to patreon.com/Studio DNA just for $3 a month, and you get your own dedicated podcast feed with special episodes that you won't get anywhere else. We do an exclusive pre-show for every episode, and today we talked about some BBC shows. We talked about our favorite Sherlock episodes, as well as our favorite Black Mirror episodes. So that kind of stuff happens in the pre-show. The only way to listen to that is either to listen live on Mixlr or to be a patron. And there are, in fact, other bonus episodes that are only available to our patrons. And what's really cool is you have your own feed, so you don't even have to go there to listen to them. You just plug that feed into your podcast player, and they'll pop up right there for you. So would encourage you to do that. $3 a month is where it starts, and we thank you so much to those who have made this podcast and many others on the network possible. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, ready to do a sift sort?
Yes.
We're going to sort the movies of M. Night Shyamalan.
And Deezus, so you know, we have to have an official ranking.
That's
so
right. With the sift
we
sort,
all have to agree.
We have to come to an agreed ranking 1 through 10 of these movies. And how we'll do it is we will go from the bottom up. So one of us will suggest a movie for, the next number, and then we'll just chat about it, whether or not we, where we want it to land, and we'll kind of work our way and build that list from the bottom up of the M. Night Shyamalan official Siftpop Sift Sort ranking.
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Should we just mention the movies first? Let's mention all the movies first.
Yeah. No particular order, obviously.
In no particular order.
Or we could do from, oldest to newest.
I don't have them that way, but...
You want me to do it real quick?
I'll just mention them.
All right.
Nah, go ahead. You do it your way. I'm afraid I've got mine in order, and I'm afraid I'll give away.
Okay, so we're starting at The Sixth Sense back in 99.
There you go.
Okay, so Sixth Sense, then Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, After Earth, The Visit, and Split.
Those 10 will be fighting to be the best M. Night Shyamalan movie, according to Siftpop. So let's start at the bottom. I'm going to suggest that I walk out if we don't agree that The Last Airbender is the worst M. Night
obviously.
movie ever made.
So bad.
And possibly the worst movie ever made, period. I hate that movie.
I don't know if it's...
I wouldn't say ever made.
I would.
Top 10 worst. Top 10 worst, I'll give you that, but not the worst.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the worst, but I mean, it's down there.
And I understand there have been poor quality movies and those kind of things, but here's the thing.
You're a huge Avatar fan, aren't you?
I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender on TV.
There's so much there.
Oh,
and
it's
it has
so
much
good.
potential.
And he completely did not get that universe. That movie is mind-blowingly inconsistent to what the TV show was. And you talk about whitewashing. I mean, the actors in this, playing these different races... it's just that movie is just in so many ways
offensive.
Here's
and bad.
what really hurt me or really made me mad about the movie is Dev Patel was coming right off of Slumdog Millionaire, and everybody was like, "What is he going to do next?" And then he's doing Last Airbender. Oh, this is great.
Oh, should have been great.
And I felt so bad for the guy.
Yeah.
And
he kind of got lost in the shuffle for a bit.
Now he's back on his feet doing good performances like Newsroom and Lion. And
he pretty much gives the only decent performance in the movie. He may be the only good thing about that movie.
But still.
Maybe some of the effects, but that doesn't matter because...
It's a guilt by association sort of thing. Yeah. Obviously, there's no way we couldn't say Last Airbender was not his worst movie ever.
Oh, I've never been more disappointed than when I walked out of that movie.
Write it down. Number 10, Last Airbender.
Officially, The Last Airbender is number 10. Who wants to recommend number 9?
May I?
Go ahead.
After Earth.
That's where I have it. What about you, Deezus?
That's where I had it. Number 9.
I think that's fair.
There we go.
All right. It's so bad.
Is there much to say about it?
It's just a very forgettable movie. I mean,
how do you make
there.
Will Smith that bland?
That's what I was going to say. He's so boring, and I don't really particularly care about Jaden Smith at all. So I was hoping that it would be kind of a even, giving of both Will and Jaden, but Will was barely in the movie.
Thought it was just gonna be like a
just
popcorn
sitting in
movie
in a chair.
Yeah.
With bad CGI, and that's not how evolution works.
Yeah.
So
taking one of the most charismatic actors in Hollywood and making him boring is
I'm going to be honest.
Pretty tough.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember anything about that plot. I don't remember what they were trying to do in that movie.
Get off Earth.
Is that what they weren't on Earth? Were they? I don't even remember.
Weren't they like a trash planet or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's been it's one of those things where you go through something traumatic and you just try and black it out. I think that's what's happened.
That was one of my other personalities that watched that movie to save me from having to watch it. All right, Deezus, you want to suggest a number 8?
My number 8, I had Lady in the Water. Is that what you guys had it?
I have
it a little higher than that. I would rather go with The Happening.
Yes, that's what I have too.
At
The
number
Happening.
8.
I mean, you guys have me outvoted. I think, like I said, I haven't seen The Happening.
It's
one that I haven't seen.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
But I just think that Mark Wahlberg alone is just, I think it would be entertaining enough to put it over Lady in the Water.
It's a movie so bad you laugh. It's like an MST3K bad movie.
I defended The Happening a little bit when it came out because I do think there's some interesting stuff there. But you can't defend it for long. It's pretty bad. I do like some of the themes in that movie, but I can't defend it. I think since you haven't seen The Happening, I think it's fair to put it at number 8, and then kind of go from there. We good with that?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we all write down the exact same list?
Well, considering you didn't see no, I don't think so.
I think once we get into like the top 4, our lists will start changing a bit.
Yeah, the bottom end is pretty easy to rank. Those 3 at least, I think. This one's a little different for me because obviously Deezus would have Lady in the Water here. Did you have Lady in the Water next?
I did.
At number 7?
Yeah.
I had it a little bit higher than that, but I'm willing to take it down to number 7. I had The Visit actually at number 7.
The Visit. See, I haven't seen The Visit.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'll let you guys
and I know
put
Deezus likes The Visit quite
I'm
a
going to
bit.
disagree on that.
Right. So
I think
Can we
The
put
Happening
Lady in-
definitely deserves.
Did we
at number
decide to
7.
put Lady in the Water at number 7?
Let's go Lady in the Water at number 7, even though I liked it a little more than you guys. And let's talk about it a little bit. I think Lady in the Water gets a lot of flack that it doesn't deserve. I think it's a much smarter movie than people realize.
For me, it was so forgettable. I've seen the movie.
It
but
is very forgettable.
If you ask me what happened in that movie, I could not tell you. I just like Paul Giamatti's in it,
I think it's forgettable.
and there was
it's
a
really
weird,
muddled.
There was a weird
and
wolf
it's just-
monster.
It is thematically and metaphorically maybe his most intricate movie, which is probably why it feels muddled. It is a movie about his own personal demons of what it means to write, what it means to create worlds, and it is a movie about the naysayers and the trolls and the people who want to bring you down. And so it's a very personal movie to him, and you can feel that. Paul Giamatti's great in it. I think Bryce Dallas Howard is great in it, but it is not a movie that is easily accessible at all. And so I think that's what makes it very forgettable. Did you guys think it was beautiful, at least? Like, that it was shot well?
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
There was a lot of
Can't
blue.
remember.
There was a lot of
There was
blue.
a lot of blue.
Yeah.
That and Smurfs.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of blue.
There's a lot of blue.
And X-Men.
That's why I'm your favorite film critic, ladies and
That's right.
gentlemen. I'll tell you what movies had the most blue.
That's right. It's on the DVD cover. There was
Yeah.
a lot of blue. Andrew Ormsby.
Andrew Ormsby. There was a lot of blue.
And that could be on Avatar as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take Lady in the Water at number 7.
Number 6,
Yeah. Why don't you suggest it, Andrew?
Village.
Oh, no way.
Number 6 is where I had The Village too.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, you guys are killing me. I like The Village.
I don't like
Well,
The Village.
okay. Well, I'd say we put The Village here because I have The Visit ranked really high, and
Yeah,
you don't. So
and
we
I
can
have-
put The Visit
I
at
have-
number 5.
I have-
Okay. I haven't seen The Visit, so you
and
guys
he
put
hasn't seen the.
you guys put
Visit.
The Visit wherever you want to put it.
I see, man, I have The Village at number 3.
Whoa!
See, I have
love The
I have The
Village.
Village at number 6.
Whoa.
All right. Oh, this kills me, guys, to move
I had
it down
it-
that
I had
far.
The Village
but
at 5.
But honestly,
Yeah,
I
if
can't.
we put The Village at 6, we
What
can
did you have
leave
at
The Visit
6?
at 5.
6, I had Lady in the Water. Because remember,
Oh,
I've only,
right, yeah,
'cause I've
yeah,
only
yeah,
seen
yeah.
9 movies.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
That's right. This hurts. All right, we'll put The Village at 6 because I know a lot of people agree with you, but I'm going to talk about it for a bit and defend it for a little bit.
That's completely
You
fine.
can put the... Oh, wait, because you love the
No,
Visit.
he loves The Visit.
I
It's kind of
love
The
The
Visit
Visit.
versus The Village right now. And well, where did you have The Visit?
I have The Visit at number 2.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Wow.
I really do.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
See, this is.
Do I need to see this movie?
This is when things are going to get weird in the top 4 with my list. So
I can't believe we're putting The Village at number 6.
Okay, here's why. I didn't think
Yeah,
it
tell me
was.
why.
I didn't think it was that suspenseful. Joaquin Phoenix's performances, it has the Shyamalan effect, and I don't think that he's an actor you should rein in. I think that he's an actor where if you let go, you get performances like you get in The Master and Gladiator and Her. And also, and this is going to be. Are you all right? Wrong pipe.
I will be.
I'll just keep going then. I think that out of every single movie he's had, because Shyamalan obviously is known for having twists and stuff. This is the most predictable twist.
it's the
he's
most
ever
predictable
done.
and the least payoff for it
Yeah,
too. Like
that's
it's one of the ones like kind of with Split, like the twist enhanced it a lot. Like The Village, like the twist tanks it for me.
Yeah.
Because I think it looks good and it has decent performances in it, but the twist just
So what are your saving
drops
graces
it.
for the Village?
So I didn't hate the twist. In fact, I found the twist to be very. It deepens the movie for me in some really valuable ways. Personally, I think it is a very personal movie for me. It is a movie about shutting yourself off from the rest of the world. It is a movie about thinking you're right and everybody else is wrong. It is a movie about how we use fear to, keep each other safe and, quote unquote safe. Yeah. But more to keep each other in line. It's about how power uses fear to keep people in line. Very, very important topic, by the way. These days.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a movie about what I saw going in, because I'm a Christian and I come from a church background, and it was a movie I saw really emulate kind of what was happening in the church at large, which was everybody who's not one of us is scary. Everyone who's not one of us is bad. And there's a scene in this movie where she finally figures out, and it's the twist scene. And it's been enough that we can talk spoilers about this, right? Like it's been many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
So she finds out that, the rest of the world is out there, and it's modern times. It's not like ancient times like it looks like it is. And she goes into this store and she says something along the lines of, wow, you're a nice person. And I think that just really spoke to me about, like, we have to quit demonizing each other just because we believe differently. It doesn't mean people are bad or evil because they believe differently than you. They may be wrong. That's okay. You can be either right or wrong. That's not, it's not saying right or wrong doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just saying you have to quit demonizing other human beings because they're different or they believe differently. And it just really resonated with me in kind of a big way. So I know it's personal, but it just, you feel something like that and it kind of builds it up.
Well, hey, everybody gathers movie experiences and they try and, relate it to their own personal life to get, a more personal meaning out of it. So that's what you're supposed to do.
But I also feel like it was one of his movies, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was one of his movies that the twist, I guess, was obvious, but it was also spoiled so early. People knew the twist going in because by that point he had become the twisty director. And so everybody was trying to, to get their hands on the script. I think the script leaked.
I didn't know. I went in blind, honestly. One of the few movies I went in blind.
And there's actually two twists in that movie. It actually has a double twist. There's a twist in the middle and there's a twist at the end.
One
exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, just the payoff to them were just very dissatisfying and kind of just I think it undermined a lot of the themes going on in the film. I think it just kind of undermined everything that had happened up to the point. So.
I get it. I understand. Fine.
Yeah.
Village can be number 6. So does that mean we're putting The Visit at number 5? Or
I think that's fair since Andrew hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fair.
I mean, if we want to make an argument for some, I just can't see any of the other 4 going beneath it.
Yeah. Well,
do you have Signs next?
No, I have Signs very high.
You have Signs very high.
Yeah.
And you have Signs very high.
Yeah.
So then Visit at number 5 would be fair.
Tell us, Deez, because Andrew hasn't seen it, and I've seen it, but I didn't like it quite as much as you. I think it's a good film, but why did you love it so much?
I think The Visit, it's just, one, the theater experience was so fun. Like, I remember I went and saw it with my sisters, and we just had such a fun time watching because this movie does such a good job at, like, making you're laughing at certain points that you're terrified. Like, you're very creeped out at the same time. Like, there's certain scenes that, like, happen, and some people will criticize the jump scares, or a lot of them are fake. And I think that's very intentional on M. Night's part as well. I think it's just, I love how they use technology in the movie as well. And I think it's just and that's the twist of The Visit isn't really a twist per se. It's just kind of a thing in the movie, and then that's that. So I think it just works out for the film.
It's a twist. It's a twist.
I don't think it is.
It's a twist. Come on.
You weren't thinking thinking it before you went into the movie. Because I already had the idea going into the movie.
Oh no, I didn't.
Like I think they did.
I figured it out before the reveal, but I still think that qualifies as a twist.
I think it was a twist they weren't trying to hide. Like, they weren't trying to make it a twist.
Okay.
Like, hey,
that might be fair.
So I think for what it was, it was so refreshing. It's what brought M. Night back into the spotlight. Because it did pretty well at the box office, had a really good score. So I think that's what's got M. Night back into people's good graces.
I am so tired of found footage that it had that going against it in my. But here's the thing: he had such a fresh take on found footage
Exactly.
that he actually made me enjoy found footage again. So
See, yeah, that's my biggest thing with found footage. I think if it's used properly and it enhances the story, then found footage works. I think there's just improper ways to.
It's all about using the tool appropriately.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with it. So.
Yeah, I liked it. I was glad to see him make a good movie because the last few, as we've talked about, have been so horrible.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to number 4. This is where I had Split.
Me too.
What about you?
I love Split so much. It's my favorite.
Really? That's your number one.
Split is my number one M. Night. Like, it really took the cake for me. I have Signs at number 4.
I have Signs at 3.
I know that Split's not going to make it up to number 1, but where did you have
I
Signs?
would rather put Sixth Sense at number 4 if we're not putting Split.
Whoa!
I mean, I have Sixth Sense at 4 also.
This is gonna get fun.
Whoa!
See, yeah, this is the nitty gritty now.
Okay, so at number 4, you had Sixth Sense.
You had
Split.
I have Sixth Sense at number 3, but I had Split at number 4. Yeah.
Okay, and you had what at number 4?
I have Sixth Sense at 4. I have Signs at number 5.
Okay.
Currently.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is where it's going to get interesting then.
So let's talk about these movies and kind of compare, because basically what we're doing right now is we're ranking. We know our number 1 movie just by process of elimination.
Yeah,
we know that. Do we all have it at number 1?
I have it at number 1.
Wait,
no, because he has Split as his number 1 now.
Oh, you had Split at number 1.
You guys both have Unbreakable.
Yeah, we both have Unbreakable at number 1.
I have Unbreakable at 3.
Okay.
Because remember, I had The Visit at number 2.
That's right.
Honestly, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make Unbreakable number 1.
I don't know that you have to fight too hard since both of us had it. Do you think you'll be okay landing with Unbreakable at number 1?
Oh, yeah, no. Because I have Unbreakable over Sixth Sense. So
okay, so basically we're arguing about 2 through 4, the S movies. Signs, Sixth Sense, and Split.
Yeah.
And where we want those to land on the official list.
So, 4 through 2, what do you have? What order?
I have Signs, Sixth Sense, Split.
You? Which ones?
4 through 2, the S movies.
I had number 2, The Visit. I had number 3, Unbreakable. And number 4,
Which is
Sixth Sense.
What order do you have those 3 movies in?
Signs, Sixth Sense, and Split.
It would
from
be
worst to best.
It would be Signs, Sixth Sense, and then Split.
Split at number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have Split, Signs, and then Sixth Sense. I think.
Which way were you going with that? I just got confused.
I'm sorry. So
from worst to first.
Worst to first. So at number 4, I have Split. And then at number 3, I have Signs, and then number 2, I have The Sixth Sense.
So we basically just have Signs and Sixth Sense reversed on our list. What was yours again from worst to first for those 3?
Signs, Sixth Sense, and then Split.
That's tough.
See, I have the outlier at putting Split so high.
I am willing to trade the Sixth Sense in favor of putting Signs ahead of it. Because that's what you have, right?
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that because they're right on the edge for me. Here's the thing. Let's talk about each movie.
See, in Sixth Sense and Split, I could swap those. They're right on the edge for me.
Because for me, The Sixth Sense is because I have phasmophobia. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have it up so high. And it's really, if you think about it, it's what made Shyamalan. One of the most infamous.
No, that's true. Yeah.
One of the most infamous twists besides the Vader one in film history. And I actually met somebody the other day who had never seen The Sixth Sense, and they
didn't know the twist.
They didn't know the twist. So I'm like, oh, well, you're gonna watch this, and it blew their mind. And
see, that's why I can't be convinced to put Signs above The Sixth Sense. Like, I think The Sixth Sense still has to be up there pretty high because, like you said, it made him what it was, and how much it changes watching the movie a second time.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't put Signs above The Sixth Sense.
That's why I had it number 2. That's why I had it number 2.
I just can't do it.
I love Signs so much. It is such
good.
a powerful
movie.
movie.
I like Signs. I really do like Signs, but I think there's no way you can put Signs above The Sixth Sense. Like, no matter what we're trading here.
See, Signs is actually in my top 10 Alien films.
I would be willing to go. How's this sound to everybody as a compromise? And Devon, you may not like this the most.
I'm in a lose-lose situation here. I'm well aware.
I was thinking I'm willing to go ahead with Sixth Sense at number 2, Signs at number 3, and Split at number 4.
Well, I'm agreeing with that because that is my list.
I would still say Split is better than Signs, but I think I could make that argument.
Do you want to give him that, considering that Split is his number one film?
That's what I'm wondering. It's just hard for me to put Signs as the official fourth best when it's my second best.
That's why it's a compromise.
Okay, but sell me a little bit more on Signs, because my biggest problem with Signs is it's a good film. One, I think they do a little bit too much tell and not enough showing, because I'd like to see the aliens. Just even one more scene would have made a difference for me. And two, I think
that scene with Joaquin Phoenix in the closet.
That scene is great, and the party footage scene is great. But then,
the party footage is one of the scariest scenes of any movie
People are so. Think about this though. People are so split on the.
Oh my god!
twist
I got
of
goosebumps
Signs.
thinking about the closet scene right now. Man,
because people are. I mean, for lack thereof, they're split on the twist of Signs, because I mean, it's such a ridiculous thing that, I mean, spoiler for such a forever ago movie, but water is their weakness.
Yeah,
I think that's so ridiculous. I think people are going to receive
3 or 2/3 water, and they decided to land on it.
Yeah,
right. I think they're going to receive the ending of Split a lot better than they're going to receive the ending of Signs. That's me personally.
Only if they're Shyamalan fans, but I don't want to say too much, obviously.
So that's my case.
It's such a movie for me. I would defend Signs with, again, thematics. This is always going to come down to thematics for me. But
I think this is best filmed movie.
That's
as
true.
far as suspense goes.
There's a lot of great suspense in it, but for me, it comes down to a movie about the strangeness and mystery of coincidence and faith, and how those intertwine, and it is brilliantly woven to make you think about those things. And we had such long conversations after that movie about how you see the world and what is coincidence. And major coincidences are often looked at as the proof of God. That's where faith comes from a lot of times, is the idea of those kind of things. And so, do you call them coincidences, or do you call them, purposeful? And just, it's, there's so much in that movie. I mean, it's not just the water, it's the swing away Meryl. It's it's just time after time, these things that they had no idea were going to be crucial in this moment. Somehow were crucial in this moment. And what is the mystery of that? Why did that happen?
And it was the family element too, between Rory Culkin, Abigail Breslin, Joaquin Phoenix, and Mel Gibson. Like, you bought that family. For as uncomfortable as they were around each other, you bought how, like we were talking earlier about how Joaquin Phoenix makes his actors perform in a certain style. And it's almost...
You mean M. Night?
What did I say?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Sorry. Yeah, M. Night makes his characters perform in a certain way, yet still I was able to find a lot of realism in that family. Yeah. Because I think everybody kind of knows a family like that.
Yeah.
I definitely bought into the family dynamic. I mean, performances all around. But then...
And here's the other thing about Split, too. It's so fresh. Like,
it's so fresh, and my thing is, I mean, if we're talking performances... I'd say James McAvoy's performance is better than any of the performances.
Well, I'll give you that. So, I mean, there's not maybe Joaquin. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is probably the best performance in Signs, but
I was gonna say Sam Jackson in Unbreakable.
Oh, you were going to a different movie.
Well, I thought we were talking about best performances in Shyamalan.
No, he was just comparing the two.
Comparing Split and Signs.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So, then I'm getting off track.
Like I said, I know I'm going to lose in this ranking regardless.
Well, I'll say this. I think you're going to have to accept the fact that Split's not going to be number one.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
I think that
I can't put Split above Signs. I just can't. I can put Sixth Sense above Signs. I just can't put Split above Signs. It's too fresh.
I feel bad because we literally have my exact list. It's literally my list. Besides The Visit, which I don't have because I haven't seen it.
All right. I'm conceding.
All right, let's do it. Number 4, Split. And it can change. We can revisit it next year. Maybe,
3A, 3B.
That's right. You know what? There's no problem in doing that. We could do that. You want to go Sixth Sense number 2, and then Signs and Split tied for number 3?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Hey, there we go. I got to win.
We found the compromise.
Now, we have not talked about Unbreakable. It's our number 1. We need to talk about it.
Yeah, we need to talk about it for sure.
So,
Go ahead. Talk about it.
They call me Mr. Glass. Oh, man. That twist is one of my favorite Shyamalan twists ever. The ending of that movie.
Yeah.
And it's also one of my favorite superhero movies. So many...
Came out the same year as X-Men, even.
Yeah. So many of my favorite Shyamalan moments are in that movie. My favorite Shyamalan moment ever is whenever he's taking out the man in yellow, which he's referred to, where he's choking him out, and then there's that powerful music playing in the background, and he's just smashing him up against the wall, but he's not letting go. Like, every single time I think about it, the first time I saw that scene, I actually cried because it was so powerful.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are so many powerful moments in that movie.
The bench press,
the kitchen scene with the gun.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's just like scene after scene that showcases exactly why M. Night was so respected as a director. You know, his ability to. It's why he was called the next Hitchcock, because of Unbreakable and because of Sixth Sense. You know.
You're the big Hitchcock guy.
Oh, yes.
Did Hitchcock ever have, not obviously to this extreme, but did he ever have a lull like Shyamalan did?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
not to Shyamalan's extreme, but he had misses for sure, and he had a couple non-genre films too. He had a comedy. I mean, it was a comedy about a murder, but it was still a comedy. But yeah, Hitch had his misses for sure. He also had, in my opinion, the hottest streak of movie making in the history of directordom, which was Hitchcock did.
Okay, I was like, oh, Shyamalan. Poor kid.
I'm not sure I'm getting these in order, but he had in a row North by Northwest, Vertigo, Psycho. Wait, let me...
What's your favorite Hitchcock film, by the way?
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest, okay.
Slightly over Vertigo.
Okay.
But just he had 5 films in a row that were all incredible.
Out of the park, yeah.
So,
do you have a favorite Hitchcock film?
It's Psycho, but I have not seen Vertigo either.
Okay.
Vertigo's a big one left off my Hitchcock list right now.
There's so many good minor Hitchcocks that a lot of people haven't seen that... you've probably heard like Strangers on a Train, because it's been referenced with the Crisscross, and that's a great one. In fact, one of the episodes of this podcast, if you go back, we actually did a review on Strangers on a Train at one point. And another one is...
Birds is my favorite. So
Birds is interesting because it's really a different type of Hitchcock movie.
It's as close to sci-fi I think he ever got.
Yeah. There's a weird supernatural element to it that he doesn't often delve into.
I really like that one.
Yeah. But getting back to Unbreakable real quick.
Yeah.
I think that Bruce Willis had the perfect style of acting already before going in to work with Shyamalan, because it just seems so natural to him, because we've seen that character done before, and then it's as if every other character in that movie, including, is it Haley Joel Osment? Is that what the kid's, including Haley Joel Osment?
Who was in Sixth Sense. Are you talking about Unbreakable?
He's in Sixth Sense.
Oh, yeah. But who was the kid? It wasn't Haley Joel Osment in Unbreakable then.
No, I don't
for some
think
reason
so.
I thought it was.
I don't think so. I don't remember who it was, but
I think that every single person in Unbreakable, and even in The Sixth Sense, because we're still talking about Bruce Willis movies, every single person kind of fell into the same kind of acting style as Bruce Willis. It just seemed like the chemistry was so on point in both of those movies.
I'll say Unbreakable is my favorite Bruce Willis performance, which is like, because I'm not a big Bruce Willis fan. I think Bruce Willis has some fantastic movies, and he does what he does. But like you said, I think his relationship with M. Night between The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, like, I think M. Night really understands what Bruce Willis wants to do with his acting decisions. So I think Unbreakable is my favorite Bruce Willis performance, like of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. It's hard to argue against Die Hard.
It is. But
great
I'd say
performance.
that's just a great movie over. I value the movie over the performance.
I'd throw 12 Monkeys in there as well for a great Bruce Willis performance.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
I love Willis and Unbreakable, like you said, I mean, it's one of the first superhero movies that people didn't realize was a superhero movie. Especially, like I said, it came out. I think it came out like 4 months after X-Men, and X-Men is kind of credited of being the genesis of this superhero boom.
Because he did Unbreakable the year after Signs. Signs came out in 99, and then Unbreakable came out in 2000.
I thought Unbreakable was his second movie.
No, Signs is 2001.
Oh man, I can't. I keep getting tongue tied.
Unbreakable came out in 2000.
The Sixth Sense was his first big movie in 99, and then Unbreakable came out in 2000. That's what I meant to say.
Okay.
I don't even know what I said. So,
all right, here it is, the official Sift Sort M. Night Shyamalan list.
AKA Andrew's list.
Number 1, Unbreakable. Number 2, Sixth Sense. Number 3 is a tie between Signs and Split. Number 4 is The Visit. Number 5 is The Visit because of the tie. Number 6 is The Village. Number 7 is Lady in the Water. Number 8 is The Happening. Number 9, After Earth. And number 10, the movie that shall not be named.
Whoa. So bad. So bad.
I love how we started off so easy
Right.
going at the list.
Bad ones are easy to rank.
Yeah.
There's good ones that are difficult. All right, let's finish with some buried treasure, guys. What do you got?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
So Chris Hardwick, love that guy.
Yeah.
He's great. He has a new show, The Wall.
I love
on
it.
NBC.
You stole
it's so
mine.
fun. Have you seen it at all?
I've
do game shows?
I've seen commercials, but yeah, no, I'm not a big game
It's
show
so good.
person.
So produced by LeBron James, which is pretty cool. And the thing I love about the show is they have contestants on who are good people, who donate to charity, who like help save lives. Like,
they specifically try to honor people that are doing good with their lives.
Yeah, and you can win a bunch of money on this show.
Up to $12 million.
Yeah, close to, because I think you have to lose a certain amount of money with the Red Ball. So it's like
Right. It's like $11,999,997 or something is the max.
close enough. I think that they'll throw you the extra $3. But anywho, Chris Hardwick is great. I love him. He's the perfect choice for a host for that show because he has the right amount of pop culture knowledge and while still being charming and stuff. But the emotional roller coaster that this show takes you on,
It's crazy.
it's crazy. I hope the show is on for a long time.
Yeah, I hope they continue to do them. I hope they don't overplay their hand like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire did, where all of a sudden it was on 3 hours every night or whatever.
Or
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
I miss Deal or No
I miss
Deal.
it too. I'm not a big game show person. Deal or No Deal was like one that I very much look forward to watching. But no, I haven't really seen anything from the wall. But I like At Midnight with Chris Hardwick. So
Oh, it's so funny.
When
See,
I was in California, I went to a couple tapings of At Midnight.
oh really?
Sat in the audience,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
who was the? Do you remember who were the people on?
I can't remember their names,
Okay, then.
but one of them ended with the most epic paper, rock, scissors battle of all time. So we got to see that.
The Wall actually reminds me a lot of Deal or No Deal as far as like the tension and like standing up excitement, and I think that's why I really resonates with me a lot. So maybe if you have Hulu, give it a shot. See if an episode grabs you or not. It's just that these people are so nice, you just want them to win everything.
Question in the chat, am I correct that The Wall was produced by LeBron James? Yes, you are correct. LeBron James is an executive producer on The Wall.
And it's so funny how tall he is and how short Chris Hardwick is standing next to each
LeBron
other.
James is The Wall.
Yes.
That is how it goes.
It's a big old pinko wall.
You stole mine.
Did I really? Oh no!
I can dig something else up.
I got mine ready. If
Go
you
ahead,
need
Deezus.
them.
I'll think here for a second.
Mine is not necessarily a buried treasure. I
That's
think it's
fine.
just a treasure. But I want to give a shout out to Redbox. And here's the thing with Redbox.
Interesting. No,
because
that's perfect for a buried treasure.
I think Redbox is a thing. It's been around, but it's had its up and downs. But the thing is, it's $1.50 to rent from here, and it gets a lot of indie films. I've noticed that I can't find in theaters sometimes, or if I don't want to rent an indie on iTunes for $3 or something,
Yeah.
I can usually find some cool ones. I found 2 movies I just randomly rented off Redbox, and they made it into my top 12 of the year.
Oh, nice.
That'd be Indignation with Logan Lerman.
Okay.
Fantastic film about just questioning faith and morals.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Jewish-raised atheist going to a Catholic college in the 60s.
Wow.
It's just a character
That's a
study.
sitcom.
No, it's a real serious film,
Yeah.
though. It's really good. And then Kicks. Kicks is my number 6 film of the year. It's this hip-hop odyssey, if you were a fan of. Moonlight, it had Mahershala Ali in it as well.
I think every movie
Every
released
movie-
in 2016 had Mahershala Ali in it.
Yeah, but Kicks it's a fantastic film. It's just a movie about this kid that gets his shoe stolen from him, and him and his friends go on a journey to get it back.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
it has this real sci-fi look cinematography. He like freestyle raps over like scene transitions sometimes. Like really cool movie.
I'm gonna have to check that
So
one out.
yeah, like I've found a few cool movies off of Redbox this year. Goat, the Nick Jonas
Goat
movie.
was a good movie. I think I was telling you about Goat.
Goat is
Yeah, I haven't
it's
seen
good. The ending
It's hard
kind of
to
killed
watch.
it for me, but
Hard to watch.
yeah. So Redbox, you can find some really cool movies that you might not find in theaters or on VOD or something.
And it has
cheap.
Mahershala Ali.
I really can't think of anything for buried treasure, but I can think of some buried trash.
Things to not check out.
Yeah, exactly. I watched. I mean, there are things I actually really like about it. It is really, really funny, but I cannot recommend it because it is so just mean. And it's Jeff Ross's roast battle. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So basically, you know what a roast is. They do them, to celebrities every once in a while. And basically the whole idea of a roast is to be as mean as you can with no limits. And basically this is just taking that to a battle format where two people try to be as mean as they can to each other through jokes and be funny. And then the judges will, put them through. So it's like tournament style and that kind of thing.
I like it though.
It's hilarious. It's so bad though, Devon. Like, I mean, it's so bad. Like
Vulgar.
so vulgar.
It's very vulgar.
And there are no limits. Like, make fun of everybody. They make fun of, weight, gender, sexual preference, handicapped, diseases, deaths in the family. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Well, why I like it, one, because I'm huge into stand-up
they make
comedy.
fun of Jesus Christ as well. Yes.
I'm huge into stand-up comedy, and these are all comedians, so I mean, I love doing that, and it's a cool story on how it started, because it was like kind of like this like underground like comedians fight club essentially going on at the Laugh Factory in LA, and then Jeff Ross got involved with it, and then that's how they brought it to TV now.
Yeah.
He's the Tyler Durden.
And I just saw a girl that competed on the show. She was on another podcast I watched the other day, and they were just talking about the show, so I enjoy it just because I am I do stand up myself. I like stand up comedy, so I think roasting's a different brand of comedy.
And I get, and like they always end with a hug, and there is kind of actually an element of like respect to it that I get. It reminds me a lot of the same reasons I just can't watch MMA. Like, even though I get that they're in there and they're choosing to be in there, and there's a respect to it, oftentimes. At the end of the day, they're just beating the snot out of each other, and there are long-term consequences to that stuff, whether you want to, to see it or not. And I can't buy into it.
UFC is one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah, no, I know, and I promise I'm at least trying not to cast judgment on anybody for either of those things. I'm just saying, for me,
that's why I said it was a guilty pleasure.
Right, exactly. I think they're starting season 2. There's a few episodes out so far in season 2 where they're kind of doing the warm-ups to the tournament. But there's a full 5-episode season, I think, for season 1. If you are interested in, if you want to dig up the buried trash. Exactly. Well, we did it, guys.
Let's get to that spoiler episode.
We made a podcast. Be sure to download the spoiler cast if you want to hear more Split talk, but only if you've seen the movie.
Split talk.
I cannot emphasize it enough.
Yes.
Only if you've seen the movie.
Go see this movie. Just go see it now.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Siftpop is part of the Studio DNA podcast network. You can find out more about other live and later shows on the network by following the feed at mixlr.com/studiodna. Mixlr, by the way, is spelled mixlr.com/studiodna. Huge thanks to today's guru. It's Deezus.
Woo! Woo! Thank you very much. I love coming on this podcast, guys.
Oh, thanks, man. Tell us a little more about Deezus Take the Reel.
Yes, my new podcast is Deezus Take the Reel. It is a podcast. We talk movies and we talk life, and we just kind of intermingle it. Each show has a theme, and then we each pick a movie and we'll talk about it. But then we play games, and then we tell stories related to the theme of the movies we're talking about. So, Andrew, you enjoyed being on the show. You got to be on.
So much fun.
And
so
Aaron, I will get you on very soon, I
Cool.
promise. But yeah,
It'll be fun.
I'm 10 episodes deep already, and thinking about joining a network here pretty soon.
So weekly?
Yes, it is weekly every
Okay.
Tuesday. You can find Deezus Take the Reel on iTunes, but it is also on Google Play Music, Stitcher, and Spreaker. And you can follow me on my YouTube channel as well, Deezus12, that has the podcast as well, and on Twitter at Deezus12.
Very cool. Much love and gratitude as well to our Patreon supporters who give monthly to make this show and others on the network possible. Support starts at $3 a month, comes with some pretty fun perks. You can find out more info at patreon.com/StudioDNA. Also, please rate and comment at your podcast player of preference, especially if it's iTunes. iTunes uses that information to promote the show, and it'd be really cool for you to give us that boost so others might be able to hear it. Anything else you want to say, or you have any ideas for the show, possibly some feedback, you can email us feedback@siftpop.com.